Hi. So, obsessions. Now, if you read any of the literature on PDA, then you will find that the distinguishing characteristics explain how obsessions are primarily focused on people rather than things. And I think this is because inanimate objects are motionless, devoid of emotion, devoid of life, therefore easier to control. People, on the other hand, are much harder to control. Therefore, more anxiety is induced. And people can be emotionally malleable. If the correct strategies are employed, then a person can be totally subjugated, deceived, and manipulated. If our emotions are awry, and we find that we cannot control them, then by default we will attempt to control the emotions of others. And notice at this point how emotions are at the very epicenter of these episodes, because if we feel something emotional, it only makes sense to repair it on an emotional level. And if we can't do that ourselves, then we look to other people. It's like lightning trying to find the highest point in the land to ground. So, why would our emotions be awry in the first place? Well, not all of ours are, granted. So I should probably explain how there are two types of triggers, long-term and short-term. We all know the short-term triggers very well. The rapid onset explosive meltdowns that arise when we feel fiercely dislodged from the driver's seat. Ring any bells? Surely no elaborations are required if you have PDA or if you're a parent of someone with PDA. But if meltdowns are new to you, then let me tell you, they're pretty intense. They set in like an allergic reaction and pan out like an epileptic fit. In these pathological states, we become like personified hurricanes. The long-term triggers are slightly different. They set in almost unnoticeably and accumulate insidiously. And they can be analogous with the trigger meter concept I've spoken about in previous videos. Just to recap on what that is. So let's say the trigger meter, my personal trigger meter, can withstand 10 to 20 hits of anxiety. And there's no set amount, it depends on the individual. I'm just giving an example really. So these are brought on by minor demands placed on us. So say you're a parent and you're at a playground and your child is behaving obnoxiously. You might just say rather lacklusterly, "Hey, can you not do that please?" Or say you're at home and you're on the phone and your child's climbing over you, you might just say, "Excuse me, I'm on the phone. 1 minute please, I'm busy." Even these could possibly be too strong, but still, I'm just trying to illustrate how just small things that contribute to the trigger meter. So say someone's threshold is 15 hits of anxiety. By the time they reach 15, then a huge meltdown could look like it appeared from practically nowhere. It looks like it could have been brought on by nothing, when really it's been bubbling away for quite some time. So I believe that we develop these obsessions with people when we feel just slightly offline all the time during these long-term triggers. And I think that this is the place where any addiction can come about really. When we feel internally disconnected and rely upon external remedies, be it heroin, alcohol, shopping or sex, to salvage us from the doldrums of life. And notice how when we feel despondent, disconnected or depressed, we call repetitive behaviour obsessions or addictions because we're trying to compensate for a lack of wellness. But when the wellness is already there, or when we restore that wellness, we feel complete. And then these repetitive behaviours become passions. You know, we don't need to feel any better. We do things simply because we love doing them. We're not trying to compensate for a lack of anything. So yeah, obsessions are quite prevalent in people with PDA. So if you have PDA, if you are a parent of someone with PDA, then just think, you know, maybe these are just repetitive behaviours. Are they passions? Is everything good? Is everything not good? Then they're most likely obsessions. So always observe, monitor, and try and find what the causes are, and then address those causes. Or maybe you don't need to. Maybe they're passions. Bye now.